Coach, as the 2019 regular season starts speeding toward a conclusion, not too many games remain to be played here in Oakland, California. The pregame festivities here in Oakland have to be seen to be believed. This crowd in silver and black, they are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Cincinnati Bengals. Coach, as the 2019 regular season starts speeding toward a conclusion, not too many games remain to be played here in Oakland, California. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The folks around the stadium clad in silver and black going to make every last game played in Oakland count. They're ready to go as their Raiders get set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. This is Joe Mixon, fourth in the NFL in rushing last season. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And that is incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt will kick out of bounds, and it'll be spotted inside the 30-yard line. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Let's go. Pick it up, G. Check. Fresno. Slam.
They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And this will go for 5 up to the 33. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here.
Hey, we're good. 180. Hey, 734.
2nd and 5 now. Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. 808. 54. Mike 50. Express. You better bring.
Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. It's caught. Jones. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Down. 185. 54. Mike 54. He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Low. Switch it.
This is Jalen Richard, the 4th-year man from Southern Miss. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
At the 50-yard line.
Monday, down. 180. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Hand me. Get in the right room.
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on 1st down quickly negated. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Down. 280. Mike 54. Army. 694. 54, right there. 54, Mike. Let's go, Hattie.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Now this is fielded in the end zone. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Bengals drive about to get going. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball to their territory.
A run there on 1st down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Rosen. And Tate's got it. And they take this up near the 30 before he's taken down. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
On second down, here's Mixon. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. And a big loss here as he's taken down from his linebacker spot. Vontaze Burfict with a sack. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Here's Carr to throw. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. Here's Ryan Allen now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And it's taken in at the 9. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
At the 16-yard line.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Joe Mixon extending the arm.
Oh, yes, it works.
Accelerating, and off he goes. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon, 84 yards, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Well, the game had been pretty uneventful offensively until that big strike.
No doubt about it. It almost felt like they were just going back and forth a little bit in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, things ramped up a little bit. Things jumped up. And you're exactly right. Going to make a highlight film or two. We'll be watching that one later on today.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
And he fires one that's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Darren Waller, the intended receiver.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They go play action. It's Rosen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The product of Jersey City, Tahir Whitehead on the sack.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
He completes it to Tate, and they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for 28 yards. Mixon. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon with his second touchdown here in this first half. Now the Bengals, they widen their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Switch. Out. Check.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Darren Waller, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. And here's a throw taken in by Boyd. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
59, check, 59.
This is Mixon on the draw. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. From just shy of midfield, Rosen. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. On 3rd down, Rosen. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Check the hot read. Check. Slam. Well, Dumbo. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. You gonna take. You got the
Carr. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And he's given his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Mixon with it. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bengals, they widen their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Extra point up and good by Bullock, and it's now 21-7. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49.
6:37.
The final shot here before half for Carr. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Check 99. Check 99. No. Off. Proceed.
Carr gives to Richard. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Now. 54's Mike. 180. Hey, we're good. You're mine. 180. Hey, Haywood. Express. Right there. 54, right there. You're mine. Get set.
Snap comes at 1, and it's Carr. He's airing it out for Williams, and that's caught inside the 35. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Carr now on first down. Complete to Jones. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's on the big guard, Gabe Jackson.
I'm going to hit you all day, baby.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
7:34.
Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. From the gun, it's Carr. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that is incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row.
That pressure comes, and down goes Rosen. Max Crosby. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this 3rd quarter. Throwing on 2nd and long. Rosen. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Carlson now to add the extra point. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going.
In your face. Wall, get wall.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
55, Alpha.
Here's Rosen to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Raiders take over first and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Now, you want it, 54, Mike. Watch the curl. Watch the curls. Begin. 93. Express. Hey, Echo. Mike's 54. Mike's 54. I got it.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. Flushed out, and he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this.
Ready. 91. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Let's go, baby. Get that ball. Let's go.
On second down now, it's Jacobs. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Ryan Allen now as he's on to punt for Oakland. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bengals drive about to get going. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
Off the play fake. Here's Rosen. Airing one out for Boyd. He's got a man. Complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain of right around 35 yards on a play that started back inside their 10.
Cincinnati.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. From the gun again to Mixon. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 30. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. On the run, it's Mixon. And an alley to run. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Will Compton able to get in there and run him down for what's going to be a loss of 15 yards all told. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. To throw is Rosen. And he's going to go down again. Tahir Whitehead able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now it's Rosen. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And this one is going to just tuck into the bottom left corner as he gets it to go. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, let a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, You can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. To throw is Kaiser. He's airing it out for Williams. That's going to be caught by Williams for a Raiders touchdown. Tyrell Williams, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and then, by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
It was Isaiah Johnson there to make the stop.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. 4 down.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now it's Rosen. He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. But he's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider first down. Second year in Oakland for Walter after being signed off the Ravens practice squad, but only 6 catches, 75 yards a season ago. Then he got a lot of hype in the offseason following OTAs. Their offensive coordinator saying, you know, Darren, you have that position. Coach Gruden went as far as to say, Darren, you have the chance of a lifetime here. Well, now it's time for Darren Waller to go out there and prove it. Back to throw. Kaiser hit, and he lost the football. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one, because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
They'll look to throw. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's fourth down. Back to throw. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, you know, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for the Bengals, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, add another loss to the pile as they drop to 2-8 now on the year. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.